Hey everyone, it's Jen. This tutorial is on helping people differentiate external rotation from hip hiking primarily, but also pelvic rotation, because sometimes that'll happen when people are trying to externally rotate the hip. So for those of you who aren't quite sure what I'm talking about, often when you ask people to do something like a hip circle, what will happen is they will lift the leg. The pelvis will hike up, and that's how they'll open their knee out to the side to get around. So from the back, leg lifts, that happens, and that's how I rotate my knee. Instead of up and around. I obviously have less range of motion the second way, but it isolates more the movement at the joint. There are a couple of things you can do, and one of the first is I don't take the person all the way around. I work just on helping the person understand this action. And if that's not going well, then there is a really easy way to help teach the differentiation in a side lying position. I have a bolster for my head. You could also just use your arm if you've got someone who's comfortable with that. So what you're going to do is, and I'll show you both from the front and from the back, lie down on your side. You're going to start with your knees in front of you, and you want the ribs moving back a little bit. So the ribs aren't puffing forward, the ribs are going to move back. You're just keeping the torso nice and still. You're creating an opportunity to, again, just isolate the movement at the hip rather than helping anywhere else. Take your left hand on top of your left, on top of the left pelvis. You're going to use your left hand to move the pelvis towards the feet and then bring it back. And do this a few times. So you're using the hand. Take one more. And what you'll notice when you move the left pelvis down is it creates a little space in the right side body, and it more than likely creates the sensation of a little bit of work through the abdominals, especially if you're keeping the ribs back and you're not rotating the body back. That's another compensation people will make. I'm staying here. So I've got this hip down, or I've got the sensation of this hip moving down, and I've created a little space here. Now I'm going to do that without my hand there. Down. So I'm just encouraging this left hip to move towards the feet and back up. Now I'm going to keep the left hip in that down position. If I feel like I'm not going to be able to hold that without some extra help, I'm going to take my left hand there. And I'm just going to lift the left knee and back. So it's just a clamshell, but it's a clamshell with the pelvis in a very specific position. And it's teaching the person how to lift and move, again, at the hip joint rather than moving from the pelvis. So from the back, it would look, I'll do the right side. My knees are bent up. My ribs are back. My right hand is on my right hip. I'm using my right hand to move my pelvis down and back up. Take one more. Now, again, you can use the strength of just the pelvis to move down and up. And again, you'll feel something happening in the left side waist. Now keep the position that feels like the pelvis is moving down and lift the right knee up. Again, if you can't keep the position without your hand on your hip, place your hand on your hip. Just some feedback. All right, so once you've got that, you can come back into the standing position and have the person take the hand on, so we'll do the right side. Take the hand on the right hemipelvis and remember, ask the person to remember that sensation of what it was like when the pelvis moved down with the hand there. Keep that action as you lift the leg Now you might have the person take the right hand to the right hip, or right hand to the right thigh, and then open the right thigh out. I don't know, my body hurts this morning, and bring it back to center. And if you keep that awareness point of just the sensation, if you ask the person just remember the sensation of the right hand on the right hemipelvis, it's more often than not enough for the person to, enough feedback for the person to know how to keep that area still and to move around it. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.